Hey guys, nice to see you here. This is Chris and welcome back to my project management sandbox. Here we talk about professional development, career and tech, and project management. As you see, I have removed my Christmas tree finally. Yay! So today let's talk about how to be a good colleague. I actually do have 8 tips for you, so if you're interested, then keep on watching. Although being a good colleague is all about professionalism, anyway, the first thing that I would like to highlight here is to be polite and empathetic. First and foremost, being a good colleague, meaning that you're going to be working with people and human-to-human relationships, the key here. So the better professional human relationships you do have with your colleagues, the more efficient the work would be eventually. So don't miss this out, don't be rude, and always try to show your empathy to your colleagues to help creating the positive environment around you. And believe me, that's gonna pay you off a lot. The second tip I would say is crucial these days in the digital world, and keeping in mind that many of us are currently working remotely, the second thing that would be key in order to build good professional relationships is to be responsive. And what I'm talking here about is to be responsive in the communication channels that you have established within your professional network. Meaning, for instance, when you are in the office, this is not a big deal just to go around the corner to tap your colleague on his or her shoulder and to hang out a little bit together, chat about activities, tasks, and so on. But when it comes to the remote work, the only thing that you can do is to either schedule a call, to send a message in the chat, or to email your buddy. This means that this is first and foremost one-way communication, and you have no idea whether the person has read this message or not. To build efficient professional relationships, make sure to respond to your colleagues, to your customers, to people who you work together timely. And even if you do not have an opportunity to give the full response instantly, what you can do instantly is to just get back to them and say, hey, I have received your message. Sorry, I'm not available right now to respond to it, but I'm gonna be doing it within 1 or 2 hours or 1 or 2 days, depending on your availability. So just be responsive and get back to people as soon as you can to maintain efficient communication. I hope you're enjoying this episode, so if you are, please spend a couple of seconds and give this video a like. Today this is the only way to support this channel, and this would give me a lot of motivation to continue creating more content for you. Also, if you do not want to miss out on the new videos that I'm gonna be posting here on this channel, hopefully every week, please be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. This way you will be notified each time I'm posting a new video here. So let's move on. Tip number 3 here is to be responsible for your part of work and take accountability for it. Here we need to highlight the difference between the responsibility and accountability. Meaning, for instance, there could be a lot of responsible people, but only one can be accountable for one specific task. So to build efficient professional relationships, everyone needs to take responsibility for their piece of work. Meaning, for instance, developers are writing code, business analysts are analyzing the requirements, project managers are building the plan and making sure that everything is delivered on time, right? So no one is expecting the developer to gather requirements or to build a plan. Neither people are expecting project managers to write the code instead of the engineer, right? So be sure to take accountability for your piece of work and let your colleagues see that you can get things done. Otherwise, if there is something happening and you're lagging behind for some reason, again, make sure to timely communicate that to your colleagues so that they will be able to adjust their pieces of work to align with the overall plan. The next tip in my list is about meetings, and here I would like to suggest not missing meetings and not to be late on meetings, at least without communicating that you're gonna be late or you're not gonna be present at this meeting. Because first and foremost, if you are invited to some specific meeting, most likely you are the key participant there. And chances are that if you're not going to show up or if you're going to be late, you will be delaying everybody else, or what even worse, the meeting may not be processed without your presence there. So make sure to attend all the meetings you are invited to, not to be late on those meetings, or if you're not available to be a part of some specific meeting or you're gonna be late to one of them, please communicate that in advance. And I'm sure all of your colleagues are gonna appreciate that. Let's talk about feedback. I have actually two tips related to feedback. One of them is to accept feedback and the other one is to give feedback. Both ways of communication are important. First and foremost, being able to accept feedback will help you improving your personal performance, and it actually could help improve the communication and collaboration within the team and across the people you're working with. I totally get it that not all the feedback is positive and not all the feedback could be communicated or would be communicated in the way that it would be easy to accept it. But anyway, any feedback is a gift, especially if this is a negative feedback, because sometimes this is the only way you can get the understanding on how actually the things are going on around you and how people feel when they are collaborating and communicating with you. Don't miss out on this opportunity and try to get as much feedback as you can. This not necessarily mean that you will accept all of it and you will adapt all the feedback that you have received, but anyway, all of this feedback is valuable. So make sure not to decline when somebody is willing to provide feedback to you. And not only this, don't be shy or scared to provide your feedback as well. As I have mentioned in the previous tips, sometimes happens that people are not able to provide positive feedback or not able to provide feedback in the best way they can. So make sure that you apply an effort to construct your feedback in a way that it's going to be accepted. So simply don't be rude, don't be a jerk. And if you see that something could be improved, try to configure your feedback in a way that person will accept it. What is more, sometimes we are missing out on providing positive feedback as well. One of the good ways of rewarding others is to simply say thank you to them and highlight that their impact or their contribution to the work is noticed. So it's important not only communicate sometimes negative or neutral feedback, but positive feedback is vital as well. So if you're seeing that someone is wearing out his tail or her tail or doing something remarkable, make sure to give this positive feedback to the person. Knowing that your work is recognized is sometimes the best reward that you could receive. Therefore, do not miss out on this opportunity to provide positive feedback to someone who potentially really needs it at this moment. Next tip is to be proactive and to make suggestions. This is, I would say, related to both projects and internal processes in the company. And the idea here is, if you see the gap, do not keep the silence, okay? This means that if you see that something could be improved, this definitely worth highlighting this. Specifically from the perspective that chances are you could be the only one who really understands that there is a gap and you know how this could be improved. Definitely that would worth not only highlighting issues but providing suggestions on the improvement. Otherwise it could seem to be that you're a little bit pessimistic and see only negative around you. Therefore, when you see something that could potentially be improved, double down on this and make an effort to come up with the suggestions on how actually this issue could be modified and improved moving forward. And the last but not the least in my list is to participate in the company activities. Yes, sometimes this might be not very interesting, or this might be a little bit challenging from the perspective that you need to allocate some specific time for this. But on the other hand, it all could help improving the interpersonal relationships across your colleagues and within your team. So make sure to at least not to miss those activities, and in the best way to contribute to those activities and to obviously take part in them. I hope that was helpful. Thanks for watching till the end, and let me know in comments if you have any other tips on how to be a good colleague. I would love to know them. Thanks for watching again, and see you soon.